It's crazy because I was in the city the other day and I saw like, a Scots kid, and it made me think back when I was in school and his shirt was untucked and everything. And so it made me think back and I'm like, yes, what they taught us in that school was very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Even just with the presentation, the tie, the shirt, tucking your shirt in. Like now I go to the city quite a lot, because to present what we're doing, this podcasting thing. And the one thing that sticks out, people come up to me, is my presentation, and something that my dad's always instilling in me. So it made me think back, yes, that's why they were so strict on the way you had your shirt, your blazer, looking sharp, because your presentation, your first impression means everything to the world. Because people say don't judge a book by its cover, but no, people judge the book by its cover. When they see you, the non-verbal communication is the way you dress, and that's what that private school taught us. That's what it was. It was how to, dress and present yourself to the world. So
I think the best part of all of it is the networking side of things as well.
Yes.
I think networking is probably one of the best things I've taken out of sort of going to a private school. I don't know, just for some reason, especially like talking to other people, like networking is for them not as natural.
When you say other people, what do you mean?
Oh, like other friends and who are trying to network. They come and ask me, oh, how do you network? Like, you seem like you have all this confidence. Where does it come from? But to me, because we were taught how to do it, it just came naturally to us. So like trying to teach someone how to network is, for me, pretty hard. Like I just say, just be confident, go out there and introduce yourself, talk about what you're doing, because people always want to know what you're doing, but just as important, they want to tell you what they're doing. So, if you have a listening ear, and questions about what they're doing, people will always be happy to share what they're doing and how they can help you. Because listening is a value as well.
You have that gift, you have that talent, and that gift and talent needs to be seen, it needs to be heard. Your downfalls, your amazing moments, your business needs to reach more people. That is what we do here at the Rubasha Family Podcast. So for a select few, we can have you as a guest on our show. For me as the host to ask you questions about what you do. This is a skill, creating this content, being able to film, produce it. It is a valuable skill that we have learned, and we want to utilize that to help as many people as possible. So you'd have me as your host, ask you questions, get to know you and your business and how to build up your personal brand. We're then able to market and repurpose content from the podcast on all platforms, including your network. So if you really want to be in touch, if you want to be a guest on our show and be able to use marketing material from this valuable podcast, from your valuable story out to more people, we have that available. Bars, bro. Bars, man. These guys, bro, you dropping gems. And I love how you said everywhere you go, yes, tell people what you do. There's power in that. Tell people what you do, because people will always remember that. But then again, there's value in listening. How can they provide value to you? And by you listening, you can now hear how you can provide value.
Exactly. Yeah, and the world is always, without you knowing, the world is always in transactional changing. You're always to and from. If you give me something, I'm giving you something, and it doesn't have to be always in money or in currency. It can just be in information, because information is power. Especially in today's environment, data, information, it's gold.
Mm-hmm. And then again, you get the information and then the application of that information in your field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like going back to the whole private school talk, I love that because, okay, apart from the presentation and the way you look, school is pretty much more or less the same, right? Whether you go to private school, public school, the education, all right, cool. It's pretty much the same. But like you said, the networking, when you're at a private school now, how many times are those kids now, the jobs that they often go get is because their dad works here. They know this, so they go into those positions. You know what I mean? So that is actually the real power of private school. And even for us, we're gonna send our children to private school, not so much because of, You're going to go in, your friend's dad is the CEO of this. You're going to be in the room, you as my son, as my children, your dad's a CEO, you know what I mean? Where you're going to be in positions to employ and this and this. So you're going to go to that school to grab the network from there and continue to build.
Exactly. And I think, especially when you put it in your resume, it's funny. You put in your resume, a lot of bosses will go, what year did you finish? Oh yeah, did you know this and so forth? So that interview doesn't even become a job interview anymore. It's more of a, who do you know? Oh yeah, no worries. When do you want to start? It's crazy.
Crazy. That's so funny. And I saw something, I don't know, I think it was on TikTok. To be honest, like I've also, and we can go into this, there's so much for us to talk about, but I don't really swipe much on TikTok. I'm more like creating. Every time I go there, I'm creating. But like, TikTok tried to finesse me to try to show me something to capture my attention, so I'm swiping. But I saw something and it was in Australia, out of the top 100 CEOs, it was like 75% or 80% of CEOs for these big companies went to private schools.
Yeah. I've got the video saved on my phone actually.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Sure, go on, see.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought of starting a podcast? I know it's a scary thought at times. Where do I start? What equipment do I use? How do I produce a whole show? Maybe you're someone out there who loves yourself and loves the message in who you are and how you're spreading your unique gifts out to the world. But you just need a platform to do it on. You need a platform for people to be able to go and hear your unique and valuable story and how you're impacting people's lives. Well, here at the Rubasha Family Podcast, we're really proud to be able to use podcasting to change the world. We have been doing this and it has changed our life. For us to be able to market and be able to tell our stories of people around us and the way it's impacting and adding value to people's lives. You are that person. You have that gift. You have that talent. And that gift and talent needs to be seen. It needs to be heard. Your downfalls, your amazing moments, your business needs to reach more people. That is what we do here at the Rubasha Family Podcast. So for a select few, we can have you as a guest on our show. For me as the host to ask you questions about what you do. This is a skill, creating this content, being able to film, produce it. It is a valuable skill that we have learned and we want to utilize that to help as many people as possible. So you'd have me as your host, ask you questions, get to know you and your business and how to build up your personal brand. We're then able to market and repurpose content from the podcast on all platforms, including your network. So if you really want to be in touch, if you want to be a guest on our show and be able to use marketing material from this valuable podcast, from your valuable story out to more people, we have that available. If you need help and assistance in publishing and producing your own podcast and just don't know how to go about it, how to do it, and you need that assistance, we provide that service as well. Being able to fully produce, edit, and publish your podcast on all networks. And maybe you just need a consultation call, some help in order to, how can you go about this strategy? Strategic ways into thinking on how you can use your podcast as a funnel for your business. You could use the podcast as a funnel for your personal brand, for people to know the face, for people to know your amazing story. If just one person can be impacted from your story, that is what matters. This is something that 100, 200 years from now, your legacy will be remembered by. So the link in the bio, there is a form for you to fill out. Go out there, fill out the form, and we'll get you started on how we can help your personal brand today. Yeah, 100%. And like even to touch on teachers, that could be because not all teachers could give you. I remember one teacher told me, it's like, I don't even want to say his name, but he was like, oh, you work at McDonald's or something like that. Yeah, bro, he told me that. But so that's more or less, some teachers could do that even in public school, but I think the big thing he said was the network. And I'm even go further. It doesn't even matter about the education, bro.
Nah.
Like, it doesn't even matter about the education. It doesn't matter, you go, it's that networking, you know what I mean? And of course, if you're able to communicate, which is a powerful tool, and bro, this is what podcasting has taught me. Maybe I've had a talent in this, but communication, bro.
Yeah.
If you can go in a room and capture people's attention by the way you communicate, by helping people understand your vision and connecting vision, storytelling, the emotions, bro, the world's at your feet.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a powerful thing because I think a lot of people out there, they're finding more interest in, you know, finding out what your story is and how they relate to it. Especially a lot of great content creators out there in social medias, especially. They're very popular because a lot of people relate to them. So if you're everyday Joe and you can somehow tell your story, the world is at your feet.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're gonna love that one.